Hello, beautiful people. Hey, hey, hee hee. How you doing? Welcome back to another episode of Up the Gut. Hit that note. You are welcome for that ear bleed right here, right now, whether you're watching or listening on Spotify. Keep liking, subscribing. Don't forget to hit the like. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to share. Don't forget to follow. Please, for the love of God, do it. All 5, 6 of you are beautiful, but we'd love to reach more and annoy them as well. Thank you to all of our sponsors as well that we have. Well, it's not sponsors, our partnerships that we have, our 5 partnerships that we have. Please go give them a look, a shout out. Go check them out. Go buy some shit from them. You know, I do, you do, we all do. Who do? We are with Big, Sexy Lopes, and I'm the other host, Brandon Girthy Higgins. Today, we are going to be going over the schedule, but not the whole schedule because that would take hours and hours and hours because we don't know how to shut the hell up when it comes to
The only
football.
two people be interested in that's you and me. So
We just go forever. We just go on forever and ever.
Yeah.
So we're not going to do that. We're going to do our top 10 games that we are looking forward to. Now, I have a top 10. He has a top 10. We have some honorable mentions. I have a lot more honorable mentions than he does. But that is what it is. Anything to say before we kick it off with our Yell at Mel?
No, just thank you to everyone that continues to support and message us and just let us know how we're doing, good, bad, or indifferent. Any feedback, good feedback, and it means you're at least tuning in to see how bad we are. So that's always good. And yes, thank you to our continued partnerships. Hopefully that can continue to grow as the relationship grows and the series goes. Just thanking everyone's support that's gotten us here so.
Yeah, we're looking forward to keep growing. You guys are going to grow with us. We're going to grow. So just keep growing. I'm a grower, not a shower, baby. That's how we do it. So I don't have a Yell at Mel. It's just fuck Mel Kiper Jr. and fuck Dan Orlovsky.
Always.
And, fuck them all. Fuck them all the non-educated people that get paid millions of dollars to be brain dead. Do you have anything for us?
Nope. Everybody you mentioned, fuck Field Yates,
Yes.
fuck Stephen A. Smith.
Yes.
Yeah, basically anybody that gets paid to be on ESPN during the day, you just go fuck yourself.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes perfect sense. All brain dead, all have a lot more money than I will ever have, and it doesn't make any sense.
Accurate.
So like I said, we're going to be doing the schedule. There are, what was it, 9? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 international games. So 9 reasons to hate your life. None of those are in my top 10. Are they in yours? Good. Okay.
Chance.
So the 9 international games, week 1, you have in East Melbourne, 49ers versus the Rams. They both love it, and they're really looking forward to it. Next one is in week 3 in Rio de Janeiro, Ravens versus Cowboys. Then we have a London spurt for week 4, 5, and 6. And you have the Colts versus Commanders week 4, Eagles versus Jaguars week 5, and Texans versus Jaguars week 6. Jaguars like to be out in London. They just take a long spurt out there. They take 2 weeks in a row. Next one we have
that's
is
what most of their fan base is. So.
Yeah, well, they're originally the team who started going out there because they sucked, and now that they are good, I don't know if they like it so much because they're losing money. Because technically, they're the home team.
Their owner, Shad Khan, he owns the soccer team out there.
Oh well, they're the home team for those two, so they lose 2 home games a year. But whatever.
Yeah.
Then we have week 7, St. Denis with Steelers versus Saints. Week 9, Madrid with the Bengals versus the Falcons. Week 10 in Munich with the Patriots versus Lions. And then the last one is week 11 in Mexico City with the Vikings versus 49ers. I personally don't look forward to these games because I don't feel like you get a good quality of a game, especially on the field that they play. I know they like the grass, but then you have to deal with the jet lag, the whole thing like that. I just feel like the game is not as good as it should be. But those are your 9, and maybe there'll be 45 next year. I don't know. It's getting out of hand.
It'll be a rare home game that actually happens in the United States.
What was that?
It'll be a rare time where there's a game in the United States set.
Yeah, essentially every week, half the games will be in different countries at this point, so that'll be a lot of fun. Do you want to start with the honorable mentions, or do you want to go into our top 10 to do the honorable mentions?
Let's do the honorable mentions first. I'm going to get my two out of the way because I don't know if it's going to, you know, if mine's going to cover yours. Two honorable mentions. Week 14, Atlanta goes to Cleveland. Kevin Stefanski goes back up to face his former team and potentially former quarterback, Deshaun Watson.
That's one of mine as
So,
well. So looking forward to that Stefanski as well. So that's one of mine. We'll
yeah.
pick one of mine out there. Look at that.
And then we have, I didn't write down what week it is. I do apologize. It is later in the season. Baltimore goes to Cincinnati. It will
That's
be
week
the actual
17.
second week 17. So yeah,
I have that on mine too, but I'm not super excited. It's on my honorable mention if the starting QBs are actually playing in that game, because it's week 17.
So well, mine was basically it was Trey Hendrickson's return to Cincinnati. They held him hostage for so long. The only reason why it didn't make my top 10 was because you already see this matchup when Cincy goes to Baltimore earlier in the year. So, I mean, that's going to give you a little bit of a heads up to what my top 10 are. If it's a division game, probably not mine because you see it twice a year.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think there's like one or two, maybe. I don't know. It depends on what the time of the year and what it is for me that are in my top 10 when it comes to division games. That one for me, though, I'm excited for it, but week 17, I'm excited because they both might be in playoff contention this year. The Bengals are a lot better on defense this year than they were last year. They have the same offense with hopefully a better offensive line. It couldn't get much worse. But the reason why it's not up there is because of, is Burrow going to be healthy? Is Lamar going to be healthy? That's why it's not in my top 10 at all. But I do have 8 more because I technically had 12. I cut down 2, down to 10. Now I'm down to 8. So another one of mine is week 7. The Chiefs going to the Seahawks. Kenneth Walker revenge game. See what happens with there. I mean, I think that's going to be a good matchup as well. 2 top contenders going at it earlier in the season, like midway. Hopefully everyone's healthy. Maybe Rashid Rice will be playing. If he can stop smoking weed for the entire time he's on probation, I just don't get it. So dumb. I don't know. Speaking of Rashid Rice, I don't know when he'll be back because literally the day or the week before he went to jail now, he just got touch-up surgery on his knee, and now he doesn't have access to all the medical attention and rehab and treatments that he needs to get back to where they thought, oh, he'd be back for training camp. Well, now he's in jail for 30 days. He's going to be behind at least a month. I know he's a superstar, but there's only so much they can do for you. So that'll be interesting. Another one of mine is week 1, the first game, Seahawks versus Patriots. Looking forward to it. I want to see what it's like. Will Drake May and the Patriots get their revenge? Will they learn how to block? Will Drake May not die week 1? Or will his season be ended because they have him in a casket?
Right.
So that's going to be interesting. Another one, I have a lot of battles here. And one of them is the Cowboys versus the Texans, battle for Texas. We're going to see who wins this one. I'm pretty sure the Texans came out on top, like the last one, the last 2 or something like that. It hasn't been good luck for the Cowboys. So I'm looking forward to see if they can take back the battle for Texas. Hopefully we get the playoff CJ Stroud, because that would be phenomenal, because then we'd have a shot. The next battle we have is a battle for LA with the Chargers versus the Rams. There is no home game here. They play in the same stadium, so it doesn't matter. You might just split it down the middle, So that's going to be cool. And then we have the battle for Pennsylvania this year. Which side will these Pennsylvania people choose when the Steelers versus the Eagles? Who are you going to pick? I don't know. We're going to figure out where the alliance is for these guys. Another one I have here is Week 16, Titans versus Raiders. By that time, Mendoza should be starting, so you'll have last year's number 1 versus this year's number 1, which will be pretty cool. Will Cam Ward still be alive? Maybe. We'll see what happens. It's the Titans. But Week 16, I think that'll be pretty interesting. And then I have another Raiders one on here, and it's Week 8. And the reason why I have Week 8, the Raiders versus the Jets, because for me, that is the earliest time that I would start Mendoza. You're not going to start him at the beginning of the year.
Right.
You're going to give Cousins some leeway, so you're not going to pull him after the first 2 or 3 games. And then after week 3, they go on a brutal stretch where I wouldn't want to throw my rookie QB in. They play the Chiefs week 4, they play the Patriots week 5, they play the Bills week 6, and then they play the Rams week 7. I don't want my rookie QB starting any of those games if I think he's my franchise. So if I knew he was starting week 8, that would be in my top 10 games to see. But it's my honorable mention because that for me is the time of where, okay, we're having an okay season. I like my rookie QB. We've kind of on a skid here. He's playing the Jets. Let's throw him out there. This is the game where this is the earliest I would throw him out there of, okay, we can move on from Cousins and be comfortable. And like we're halfway through the season. So we'll go Mendoza. So that's my honorable mentions. Okay.
I like it all. It's all football, baby.
Dude, there's just so many games. I gotta tell you right now.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta tell you right now. When I was doing this, I broke it down by week, and I did what games I was interested in each week. And I was like, holy fuck, this is a long list. I gotta cut this down to 10. I gotta cut this down to 10. Dude, my honorable mentions was probably 30 at one point. So we're lucky we even got it down to this point,
Right.
which is fucking fantastic. All right. I'll kick it off since I'm still going with my number 10 game I'm looking forward to. It is week 3, Titans versus Giants. We get the matchup of the top 2 QBs of last year of Cam Ward versus Jackson Dart. I think Jackson Dart comes away with it. I think the Giants pull it out. But it's going to be interesting to see how Cam Ward and Jackson Dart go because it's going to be underneath the microscope. It's going to be one of those microscope games where everyone's like, oh, number 1, oh my God, last year's top 2 QBs, who's the better guy in year 2? It's going to be underneath the microscope. It's earlier in the year, so both these QBs should be healthy. The team should be healthier. Neighbors might not be afraid to play, even though his knee might not be 100%. I don't think he's going to be speeding away like he was. That knee is pretty torn up. But I'm excited to see that one. Week 3, Titans.
Yeah, no,
Giants.
like you said, it's early enough in the season where both quarterbacks should be playing. Also, it should give Jackson Dart a couple games to knock off any kind of rust he may have from missing, I shouldn't say most, at least part of last year with his own injury issues. So my number 10 game is actually one of your honorable mentions. It is the Kansas City Chiefs at Seattle Seahawks in week 7. I think that is when we kind of are going to know where this Chiefs team is. Mahomes will be back from injury. There's talk now he might be actually put on the pup list just to be safe. They do have Justin Fields, who with the team that they've potentially built and the first 4 games of the year, maybe if you come out 2-2, and then Mahomes goes back in, maybe, it's not like the West is super, super difficult to navigate.
Yeah.
It's not easy, but it's not difficult. And like you said, Walker goes back to Seattle. He's beloved, but now his team's going to be rooting against him as he tries to take the Chiefs to victory. So that one I am going to be interested to see.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty interesting. I'm also thinking right now, too, when you brought up Mahomes starting the season, I know they have Justin Fields. He doesn't throw the ball very well. So Garrett Nussmeier might get a shot to play some quarterback before Mahomes comes back because who knows? Maybe they'll have a battle for the second quarterback in the preseason and everything leading up to it. Nussmeier, inches him out. I don't think Nussmeier is amazing, but I think he could throw the ball better than Fields, but Fields could definitely run it a lot better than Nussmeier. Probably ever could. So that's pretty cool. All right. What do you got for number 9?
So number 9, I have it as, let me grab this here. It's another Kansas City Chief game. It is going to be Kansas City at the LA Rams in week 13. I think everybody remembers this game. Now, obviously, I'm not Dan Orlovsky, so I have a fully functioning brain. I understand that a lot of the guys that played in the game in 2018 are not there anymore, but it's still the last memory that anybody has of these two teams meeting. It's been plastered all over in the NFL. The last time they met was a 54-51 game. Both teams are just scoring at will. Obviously, I don't think it's going to be that high again. But again, this is going to be a couple weeks after the Seattle game. We're going to find out more about, is Kansas City's windows closed? Is Mahomes the same player? Did they find an answer at wide receiver? Is Kelsey giving it his all? Did they fix any of that defense? The Rams, are they truly Super Bowl contenders? Did they do enough, or did they fuck up by getting Ty Simpson? That's another thing. It's week 13. Is Matthew Stafford healthy? Is Ty Simpson in there? So is he all of a sudden taking the team and they're propelling them forward? To me, that's very, very interesting.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a great game. I don't know if Ty Simpson gets in there unless Stafford dies. So I mean, Simpson might be riding that bench for like 2-3 years. Honestly, the pick I just still don't understand the pick at all.
Yeah, the only way he gets in there is Stafford's back gives out. But yeah, I mean, which is we're 4 months, 4 months into the season at that point. Who knows if they have a big enough lead? Not saying that they're going to start doing load management, but if his back's starting to ache, they may sit him for a game or two just to be like, hey, we need you to slow the playoffs.
I don't think so. I think they pushed Stafford for another MVP like they did last year. Even though they were blowing teams out last year, they didn't put the backup QB in. It didn't fucking matter. They're like, Stafford, you're getting the MVP.
Well,
It's happening.
it was Stetson Bennett
Well,
or Jimmy Garoppolo.
Well,
So-
you know what? At this point, shame. They might put Bennett as the backup QB because he's just pissed that they even picked Simpson. So,
Yeah, you're right.
my number 9 is a homer because it's a classic and it's week 1 Cowboys versus Giants because it's a classic game. Classic Cowboys versus Giants early in the season. Love to see it. Takes me back to the good old Tony Romo days of him and Jason Witten winning that game at the end there. It's always good when you go back to last year where the Giants were doing really good and then Russell Wilson said, fuck it, the guy's down there because it was working the entire game. And then the Cowboys decided, oh, I can play above the receiver where he doesn't have to get behind me. That's crazy. New defense, so it's gonna be an interesting one. Giants coming out firing, Cowboys gonna come out firing. It's a classic for me. It's always one of my games to watch, and especially week 1. Back to the week 1 shit. It was like fucking 5 years in a row. It was week 1. I was like, I bet you're playing Giants week 1. Put money on it. Well, now we're back. We're getting back to the classics. It's a good schedule this year. That's my week 9. My number 9 is week 1. Cowboys versus Giants.
Number 9.
So
nice.
My number 8 is week 8. Ravens versus Bills. Get an MVP showdown here. Especially when Josh Allen won. Everyone's like, oh, Lamar Jackson should have won it. Listen, I'm going to tell you right now. Lamar Jackson is the best stat padding quarterback in the entire NFL. I don't give a shit if people hate hearing that or they disagree because it's a fact. The man plays the Browns twice a year. And those are the games where Derrick Henry runs the ball 5 times. That's the only games he runs the ball 5 times, and they let Lamar throw 5 touchdown passes and 300-plus yards every single time. Even if they're up by like 28 points, they're like, bomb it deep. Lamar needs the stats. Make it look good at the end of the year. So essentially, he gets 600 yards and 10 touchdowns playing the Browns every year. And for whatever reason, it's the only game the Browns don't know how to play defense, which is their best fucking thing. He is the best stat padding. He's basically Devin Booker of the NFL when it comes to padding his stats against shitty teams. There's your NBA reference. Devin Booker is a stat padding POS too. You play a shit team, you pad your pads. You pad your stats. And that's how it is. That's why he's on the MVP conversation. I'm not saying he's not bad. I'm not saying he's bad. I'm not saying he's not good. I'm just saying when it comes to stat-wise, he's pads his stats. But I think it's going to be a great matchup. Bills actually have some wide receivers, so they'll actually have to cover them. And you can see Lamar versus Allen. And everyone will be like, who's better? Who's better? Well, I think it's Josh Allen, but here we are.
Wow. He's also your stepson, so. So my number 8 is actually going to be in week 12. It's going to be the Indianapolis Colts at the New York Giants. Daniel Jones, if healthy, goes to New York. Is he going to be healthy enough to show them what's up that they're missing out? Yes, you're happy about Jackson Dart, but hey, you could have had me. And at that point, I feel as though the Colts are going to be with an intern head coach. Chris Ballard's going to have his shit packed.
You say this every year as if the Colts are going to have an interim head coach at some point in the year, and they don't. They haven't. Yeah. They haven't.
It's wishful thinking. I don't have them potentially winning a game until week 6, and that includes preseason.
You're not a Colts fan anymore. There's no more wishful thinking for that. You're not a Colts fan anymore.
That's accurate. I know some Colts fans, and I want nothing but the best for them. So I'm wishing this for them. Listen to their first 5 games. Home against the Ravens, at the Chiefs, Texans, at Commanders in London, at the Steelers. Show me which game they're supposed to win.
I mean, maybe the Commanders.
I'll read it back. The Commanders in London?
Maybe.
I think Jaden Daniels is going to put his size 13 slender right up the backside of everybody on that defense. Also, I think that could be Kaytron Allen's breakout party. That's just me. So after that, they play the Titans and Vikings and Jaguars. So I do like pettiness to a point, and I like the idea of Daniel Jones going into New York, throwing for a bunch of yards, showing the legs off, and beating the Giants, and saying, I'm in Indy now, fuck y'all. So that would be my that's my week, or my number 8 game of the year.
You said that was your week. That was your number 8, correct?
That was my number 8.
All right, cool. All right, yeah. I mean, it was one of the ones I was looking at, and I was thinking that, and I was like, maybe, but it's Colts and Giants. I was like, it's Colts and Giants. I was like, we'll see. Besides Scatterboo and whatever, Scatterboo might have 200 yards rushing that game. I don't know. We'll see.
He might.
Who you got for number 7?
Number 7, it is a Week 17 matchup. Some may see it as a snoozer. I see it as a very competitive team with teams that are going to be at the top of the draft order. I'm going Las Vegas Raiders at the Arizona Cardinals. So, now, I understand the Raiders just spent the top overall pick on Mendoza. I understand, they already have that spot for the future set. I understand. But what did you do in our keeper fantasy league, Mr. Higgins? Did you not?
I traded for a lot of picks for next year. I'm not done. If you want to still give me picks, I will fucking take first rounders next year because I want Jeremiah Love.
So what did you do when that forced us to have a cap on quarterbacks?
You mean take all? You mean at one point have 8 quarterbacks on my roster so that the other person couldn't have a second quarterback? Yeah.
And then hold them ransom.
Yeah.
So that to me,
I had them.
Yeah. Go ahead. Can I have Jacoby Brissett for a first round pick in 28 or 27?
You need him. He's a starting quarterback.
Sure.
I don't know what you're talking
about. Yeah. So that to me is what the Raiders can do. The Raiders, they did improve, but they're nowhere close to being where they want to be, especially with a first-year coach. Even if he is coming off of a Super Bowl win, if they have a bad season and they hold the top spot again, or if they're in the top 3 again, they can say, you want the quarterback? Come up and get him, but it's going to cost you. And then just use those picks to fill out the rest of your roster. Like you said, Jeremiah Smith. If you want to move up from 5 to 3 to jump whoever's in 4 or prevent somebody else from going and getting your quarterback, sure. It's going to cost you 5. It's going to cost you 2. It's going to cost you something else.
I don't know if I'd even drop down to 5. I would, if I'm at 3, I'm staying at 3 and I'm taking Jeremiah Smith because I'm sure 1 and 2 are going to have QBs. It's like 4. We've seen a wide receiver go 4 last year, and I was Cardinal Tate. Yeah, 3 is like
that. You see, the league thinks differently between you and I. They love that positional value. The best player will fall down just because they don't play the right position that's in need that year. And this quarterback class is supposed to be more legitimate, like 1,000 times more legitimate.
We said that about this last class, and they all fucking shit the bed, except for the one guy that nobody was fucking talking about.
They all went back to school.
The one guy that nobody was fucking talking about was the first overall pick, the nerdiest guy in the entire class. But everyone else shit the bed.
Call him nerdy. I love that man. You know what he said? He's like, I'm not having a girlfriend. I don't have time for a girlfriend. I just got out here. I have to learn an offense. I have a career to think about. I don't need a woman. Hey, fucking men, brother. I don't want you to win anything over the Cowboys, but I hope nothing but the best for you, Mr. Mendoza.
My number 7 is a Week 17 game as well. It is the Bucks versus Rams.
Okay.
I feel like it's going to be a very competitive matchup. Baker Mayfield goes back to the Rams, a team that signed him, and he fucking came out with a glorious comeback for them. And then they're like, all right, get the fuck out of here in the offseason instead of like being a successor to Stafford or rolling with him instead of Stafford. Because at that point, I think Stafford was hurt and like they were still mulling if he was going to keep playing or could he keep playing or anything like that. And they said, fuck it, we'd rather risk it with Stafford than have Baker Mayfield. I feel like it's going to be a very competitive matchup. I feel like that might bring out some of that Mayfield magic we saw from last year early on. I don't think, hopefully, he's not as banged up as he was last year because I feel like that really hurt him a lot. But it's just something looking at this game, seeing in Week 17, Bucks versus Rams, just for me, something just stuck out, and I was like, this game, I feel like is going to be cinema, and I am just excited for this game. So that is my number 7, cinema. I do have a couple of division matchups in here just because that's what I do. And the other one is Week 16, Packers versus Bears.
This is your number 6?
Yeah, this is my number 6. And it's Week 16, Packers versus Bears. And there's a late season matchup between the Packers and Bears. Will the Packers have another lead and they blow it again to Williams just throwing up bombs, hoping, praying that here we go, and it works again? Or did the Packers learn how to not give up, 28 unanswered points and lose another fucking game? I think it's in Chicago as well, so maybe we'll get another snow game with that, but either team should be used to that. It's just, I know they play twice a year and everything like that, but there's just certain division games for me that really stick out that mean more than most, like the Packers and Bears. Lions and Bears now matter because of the head coaching change, and then the Eagles and Cowboys. Just those type of games matter to me, especially later in the season in certain situations. I think the Packers don't make the same mistake as they did last year, as long as they're healthy. By that point, Micah Parsons should be back, so Caleb Williams shouldn't be able to run around as well as he did in all that shenanigans. And by that point, Danny Dennis-Sutton should probably be starting on the opposite side. So you just have 2 Penn State wreckers coming at you. So I'm looking forward to that one in Week 16 now. Could be a playoff spot. Could be first seed. I don't
think it could be.
We're gonna see with that one. So, oh, my nose is so fucking itchy tonight.
Might be that vagina ring you have.
Yeah, it must be. It has to be.
So my number 6 is actually one that you have already mentioned. It's Week 8, Baltimore at Buffalo. Hopefully it's Josh Allen versus Lamar. But this is the middle of the season pretty much. Baltimore's new offensive system under Minter, the new defensive system under him. He should be taking shape. It should be almost there to where it's, crisp. And then the big thing with Josh Allen, it was talked about all last year, especially during the playoffs, is Josh Allen is great. He's this, he's that. He's an MVP. Some people think he's a future Hall of Famer. He's the second best quarterback in franchise history besides Jim Kelly. This, that, and the other thing. But he can't beat Lamar. He can never get ahead of Mahomes. Is he not the best quarterback in the league because he's the third or fourth best in his own conference? So to me, this game is one of the first ones where it's like, okay, Josh Allen, you need to beat these guys because, like you said, each week, beating Baltimore could mean that you host them instead of having to go down to Baltimore come playoff. You know what I mean? You have this at home. You have to win. Like, I hate to say must win in Week 8, but this is a big one. For me, it's very intriguing. I love Josh Allen. I love watching him play, the fire that he plays with. He's just super talented, but there's just something about him, at least so far. He just hasn't had it. He just hasn't had it at all, and I just don't get it.
Yeah, it's a pretty big test. Middle of the season too. I think it's going to matter a lot later on. Like you said, could be playoff seeding, could be who's where, who's doing this. It is a big thing for Allen to finally get over that hump. New head coach. Maybe they won't try to rely on him and ask him to be Superman in every big game and try to find different ways to do stuff, because that's what it's been a lot. Is when he's had his best games, he hasn't been asked to be Superman, and he kind of just did it naturally. But the games were like they're making him do everything. It just kind of crumbles. Just let him play naturally, and we'll see what happens with the Ravens. Who is your number 5?
So at the halfway point, before I announce number 5, I do have to say that a little breaking news came in. I did send that to you, and you said, rightfully so, that you'll believe it when you see it. But the 43-year-old Aaron Rodgers says that this is his swan song. He is done after this year. And like we have said before, we like to have fun on this show, and we speak our minds. I am worried about Aaron Rodgers. He might be a douchebag. He might be a dickhead. He might be a terrible spouse and terrible brother, son, and all this other thing. But I'm still worried about this dude. Reports have come out, whether they're how accurate they are, or whatever, that he's addicted to football. That he has been quoted saying that if he is not playing football, he is nothing. So I'm a little worried about his mental health. If he can't physically play anymore, will coaching satisfy that hunger? Will being an analyst satisfy that? Does he go into a dark hole and never return again? Like, I'd be worried about his well-being. I hope I'm wrong, but in today's day, when you see stuff like that, you kind of have to take it a lot more seriously than people have in the past.
I mean, I have seen that, but I think with Rodgers, it's not going to take long for him to get a coaching opportunity, whether it's college or even if he just goes high school or whatever, something,
Right.
NFL, may put him on a staff. I don't know. But with how his competitiveness is and the way it is, who the hell knows? Maybe he'll go on one of his retreats and he'll get real high on whatever the hell it is he wants to get real high on while he's inside of a hole or whatever. And he goes and plays flag football instead of playing contact, where he's not getting hit and he just has to sit back there, throw the ball, avoid one, 5'8" guy who thinks he's Superman coming at him to try to get his flag.
Right.
And he just launches the ball to whoever the hell he wants. And just keeps competing because flag football is up and coming. It's going to be in the Olympics. The guys think they're amazing now, and they could be NFL people, but when it's staged, you can, and when it's not, you can't. So maybe he does that. Maybe he just goes and he competes in a different way. Being older, he might be in better shape than most of the guys that even play flag football, anyways, even if they do it for Team USA or whatever. Just because he has millions of dollars to be, in better shape.
Sure.
So that'll be interesting to see what he decides to do after this season. And I'm sure there'll be a microscope on that as well, even though he's a very private person and nobody's ever seen his wife. Because, I don't know, Manti Te'o-esque, I don't know. But we'll see what happens with it.
Yeah. Well, after halftime, my number 5 is another Buffalo Bill game. It's Kansas City at Buffalo, Week 12, and it's. I hate to sound like a broken record.
We have the same number 5.
Do we? Oh, that's fantastic. But then just as well as I do. This is it's Mahomes. It's the Chiefs.
Yep.
They were it. That was his kryptonite. They were out last year. The path was clear for Josh Allen. He still couldn't get it done. Now Mahomes will be healthy. Kelsey is his last year. How much longer does Andy Reid have?
Yep.
Can you beat them? And again, winning might be the difference between you hosting them late in December or January, or you have to go to Kansas City. So that to me should be simple.
Yeah, that's my number 5 as well. Crazy. Unplanned, people. Unplanned.
Mm-hmm.
This is probably Josh Allen's best opportunity to beat the Chiefs because their defense is probably the weakest it's been in however many years. After losing both corners, losing the leader of that middle of that defense, Chanel. They lost the linebacker right there. I'm pretty sure they lost Cook as well, the safety.
Yeah.
They lost a lot of pieces on that defense. Yeah, the offense is still going to be what it is. You're going to have Mahomes back. You're going to have Kelsey back. You're going to have Walker now. You're going to have a running back. But Josh Allen, oh my God, my fucking nose, is going to have the best opportunity he's ever had to try to dice up this defense. New receivers, new scheme, new everything. And this is his best opportunity to do it. He has to do it. It's another one of those. He has to beat Lamar and he has to beat Mahomes. It matters with seeding probably at the end. and at least you'll get one up on them. But you probably have to beat them twice a year. You're gonna have to beat them now, and then you're gonna have to beat them in the playoffs at some point. But it's gonna matter. It's a huge game. It's week 12, literally middle of the pack, and here we go. Number 4 for me is a week 18 game. It's a division game, and it's the Rams versus Seahawks. We got a big one going up here. That one's going to matter a lot. It could be for the first seed. It could be for the division. It's going to be a barn burner, I can tell you that much. You got 2 top defenses going at it. Last year, they kind of went back and forth. I'm pretty sure they split it, and then the Seahawks beat them for the second time, technically, in the playoffs. It's going to be up in Seattle as well, the 12th man. It could be everything. It could shape the entire playoffs. One person could be the first seed, and the other person could end up being the 5th seed and have to play away games the entire time. I love it. I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully Stafford's playing. With the back issue, and hopefully Darnold's playing. Maybe the Seahawks can keep the magic of last year going. I mean, they don't have Walker, so maybe they won't be as great. But they do have Price, who was, I don't know, the 14th best running back in this class because he was a backup the entire time. And then hopefully Charbonnet's back by then. So they can at least have that 2-headed monster. But week 18, a lot of injuries can happen between now and then. But I'm really looking forward to that one.
I know that every time those 2 teams get together, it's always a good game. And it may be one of the last times you ever see Stafford versus Darnold. If they meet in the playoffs, that might be one thing. That's not guaranteed. This one is on the schedule of close to health and guaranteed to happen. So I agree with you on that. It should be a good one. My number 4 is week 17. It's Denver versus New England.
That was one of the ones I was like teetering on. It didn't make my honorable mentions, but it was one of the 30.
Yeah.
It was definitely one of the 30.
If Bo Nix is back and healthy and doing his thing, if fucking John Fox can just settle on one goddamn running back, I don't know, the one you spend a high draft pick
John
on.
Fox?
Oh no.
I mean,
John
Sean
Fox.
Payton?
Look at me. John Fox and Sean Payton look so similar in the fold. They get like all these things.
Old white men.
And they chew gum, and they're both fucking stupid. But honestly, if Bo Nix doesn't go down, we're probably watching Denver Seattle in the Super Bowl.
A rematch in the Super Bowl.
Right. So to me, this is a little bit of a revenge game for Denver, especially if it's going to be in New England. It is late in the season, so
could be another snow game.
Playoff seedings. Yeah, exactly. But I mean, they're from Denver, so I mean that shouldn't bother them. Don't go breaking your fucking ankle. I'm gonna tell you. So I'm definitely looking forward to this one.
Yeah, that's gonna be a good one. Like I said, that was on one of my 30 that I had listed. For that same reason, though, good matchup towards the end. Hopefully we get the game that we were supposed to see in the playoffs, May versus Knicks, and see what happens when those two actually go head to head. Because the Broncos were hot. They were hot. They were hotter than the Patriots. The Patriots were lukewarm, but the Broncos were fucking hot. They almost won with Stidham. They almost did.
Yeah.
But it was bad play calling. Don't lean on your running backs type deal because it's a rookie. It was stupid. It was Sean Payton retardedness. So yeah. Who you got for number 3?
Number 3, I have Seattle at Philadelphia, week 15. I'm very intrigued with these interconference top team clashing late season. You win this game, it's like winning 2 or 3 games because now you got the tiebreaker. You get this, that, and the other thing come playoff time. Like I said, divisional games for me, you get them twice a year, you split, whatever. You can lose all 6 of your division games and still win your division. That, to me, you know what I mean? So this one, you have West Coast going east late in the year. Is Seattle going to be thinking too much ahead to what they got going on in week 18? Are they looking forward to what they're already going to have come playoff time? How motivated are they going to be? What's Philly going to be when they get there? Everyone kind of expects them to be the team that's going to run the East again, they lost a lot too. They're probably going to lose A.J. Brown. They still have a college running back playing quarterback. It's bananas in there. So that makes the top three for me. If I was to switch 3 and 4, I wouldn't argue with you, but they make the top three for me.
My number 3 was your number 9, and that's Week 13 Chiefs versus Rams.
Okay.
I'm really excited because obviously you go back and you saw that high-scoring game. It was Goff versus Mahomes. Well, we've gotten even better now that it's Stafford versus Mahomes. We could see another shootout, or we could see one of the lowest scoring games of the year, depending on which one it goes. Either way, I think we still get a great game out of both of those. McVay and Andy Reid going head-to-head, two masterminds going at it. Mahomes and Stafford, hopefully they're both in there, everything's working, and here we go. Going head-to-head. See what happens with it. I mean, the edge really at quarterback can go a toss-up. I mean, I don't think either quarterback in that matchup has is better than the other one. Two great masterminds dissecting defenses back to back. I think Stafford has the better edge in terms of going against a weaker defense in that, but that could drive Mahomes to just put up points, so we could see another like 60-60 game in terms of what we end up seeing. So that's my number 3. I'm really excited for that one. My number 2, and my last 2 are division games. I don't give a shit what you say. They're fucking great games. Is Week 17, Lions versus Bears. We get the head coach going against his former team in the Bears against the Lions. And they have a very heated thing going on at this point. For what I mean, I get being mad at Ben Johnson for, going to the Bears. Okay, but like to be as mad as the entire team and everyone is that he decided to take a head coaching job rather than stay with you guys is kind of irritating. And the way that when one of these teams fucking wins, the other head coach is just a dick. The personalities of Dan Campbell and Ben Johnson just going head to head on, I won, fuck you, and it's Week 17, which could knock one of these teams out of the playoffs, especially when the Bears have a Week 16 against the Packers. They could be fighting for their life if they lose for the Packers, and the Lions could be, fighting for like the division win or a playoff spot or anything like that, depending on the way the season goes. I hate that the Bears are on my list twice, but it is what it is. They have some good matchups. But I'm really looking for that one just mainly because of the heated rivalry of the head coaches right now with Dan Campbell and Ben Johnson. I think that one is really shaping up to be something to actually watch. The Lions are actually must-watch TV at this point. So who do you got, or what do you think?
I do have a question for the people that listening, and they might think, I would never go coach a rival team. Okay. If an NFL team offered you a job, not just a head coaching job, but a job, you tell me you wouldn't take that? Yeah, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Number 2 for me is petty as fuck. I'm there for it. I love it. I will be drinking it up like it's the great people drank. Okay? It is Week 1.
Oh, God.
Patriots at Seahawks. Week 1 is there. The Patriots, who were coming off the last time they touched the field, was an agonizing defeat against Seattle. Not only do you get the celebration on the field with the Lombardi Trophy and the video tribute and the banner raising, you're doing it right in front of the fucking team that you just did it against. That to me, and it's Week 1, that's probably as healthy as a team's going to be all year. So you're probably going to get some really, really good football. And like you said before, the Patriots learn how to block. Did anybody's arm get any bigger? Like, is A.J. Brown going to be there at that point with them? Does Seattle take a step back losing Walker? We're going to find out a lot. And just the 3-game pettiness, I am all there for that.
Yeah, that was one of my honorable mentions. It almost made my list. It was on my list, and I swapped it out for which one. But I'm excited for the game. Week 1's going to be a good one, especially playing the team that you just beat in the Super Bowl. Getting to do everything right in front of them. Not just beat, humiliated, and just completely destroyed that. I don't even know why the hell they showed up at that point. So it's going to be even worse than it would normally be. But I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's Week 1 has some really good games. Honestly, there's a
Mhm.
lot of really good games in this fucking year. I think the
There are,
schedules,
there really
they
are.
really just cooked it up. They fucking cooked this one up this year.
Mhm.
Who do you got for your numero uno?
So I'm gonna ask you to do your number one because when I reveal what my number one game
Oh,
is,
God.
I don't know if you're gonna be sitting at the desk anymore. You're gonna say a bunch of R words. You're probably gonna flip me off, and I don't know if you're gonna have the mental capacity to do your number one. So I want you to go first at number one.
I can't wait to hear how retarded this. All right, my number one is a true homer, and I will stick to it. It is Week 12, Eagles versus Cowboys, Thanksgiving game in Dallas. Cry, Eagles, cry about not having Thanksgiving games. Why do the Cowboys always get to play on Thanksgiving? This is so unfair. Well, you know what? Fuck you. You got your dream. You get to play the Cowboys on Thanksgiving. You get a Thanksgiving game. I don't want to hear shit about like, oh, it should be at the Lincoln. Oh my God, it's more Thanksgiving. I don't give a fuck what the hell you think it is. Dallas always plays on Thanksgiving. It was built into it because they wanted to do something with it. The original owner of the Cowboys said, yeah, I'll do it, but you have to guarantee that we play on Thanksgiving all the time. And that built up the brand and it built up everything. Well, here we fucking are, Eagles. You get to come to Dallas.
And it was always Cowboys versus Indians, right? Always Cowboys versus the Redskins
Yeah.
on
Change it up.
Thanksgiving. So I mean,
Yeah, we change it up. We change it up. We have another. There's another week. I'm pretty sure the Chiefs and Bills are on at night that game too, or they're on Friday or something.
I think you're right.
They're that's Thanksgiving actually has some good matchups this year. But my favorite one, Eagles versus Cowboys. It's always a heated rivalry. Will Jalen Carter not spit on Dak this time? 3 seconds into the game, before we even start playing. I don't know. But the Eagles get to come to Daddy Dak's house. He's hosting you guys for Thanksgiving because he is your daddy, just like the rest of the NFC East. Come in for Thanksgiving. He's going to cook you up a nice dinner and send you packing on your way right to bed with another loss because he's going to kick your fucking ass. And I'm looking forward to it. I will beat off into some turkey sandwich and eat that if they win. Don't quote me.
Remind me not to have a meal at your house.
Listen, it's my special sauce. Makes it extra salty and creamy and delicious.
All right.
All right.
Well, on that note, here comes
I'm
the number one
ready to
game
get
of
up.
the year.
I'm ready to get up and just walk out of the fucking room when I hear this bullshit.
All right. My game of the year.
Oh, fuck.
The one I'm looking forward to so much.
It's gonna be so stupid. It's gonna be like the Browns or something. It's gonna be so fucking stupid.
It is the Carolina Panthers at the Arizona Cardinals.
What the flying fuck? What? No, honestly.
is-
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna be quiet. Go ahead, please. Fucking explain.
It
this
is
one.
scheduled for August 6th. It is the Hall of Fame game.
Oh my God!
Because God,
Shut the fuck
because-
up. That is the worst. I understand. I understand. Oh my God, football's back. Here we go.
yes,
Shut the fuck
baby, it's
up.
over.
It is going to be the
The 6
worst
months
game.
is over.
It's going to be the worst
I don't
game.
care. I don't care. I don't care if I see a dude playing that game and then 2 weeks later he's bagging my fucking groceries at Walmart. I don't give a shit. Football's back. 6 months of hell is over. That means summer's almost over. That means baseball's almost over. That means fall is coming, and everything is going to be right with the world because after that game starts, there's only 2 weeks until 2 weeks out of the rest of the football season, which ends in mid-February, so where there won't be NFL football on. I am here for that. I will throw a party. I'm planting my flag. Carolina, Arizona. I'm ready to watch your third and fourth stringers play NFL football. Let's get it. I told you would hate it. I told you would call me retarded.
Why are we even doing this?
And I was right.
Why are we even doing this? That's like giving the special needs kid the prom king because he's special needs. Here you go, make him feel special. Well, you just gave the special needs kid a fucking crown because he's the first game of the season.
I'm
not
a
even like the
Make-A-Wish,
season. It's
baby.
like, you know what? Every year we change it. Play your 9th string guys and let's get this fucking over with. Are you kidding me? That's not. What the hell? That's an honor. That's like top honorable mention, max. That's not.
Nope.
Oh my God.
That's what I'm looking forward to. Number one. That's my number one. You wouldn't have been able to talk about the Thanksgiving game after that.
The top. Are you kidding me? Every all my honorable mentions top that game for Christ's sakes. Jesus Christ. Oh my God, it's pathetic. It's fucking pathetic. I don't know why I do this with you. My God, I might as well just get some other guys that I know that do this because they're to the same level at this point.
It's an 8:00 kickoff, by the way.
Whatever. All right. Well, at least one of our lists made sense. Everything was good up until then. Everything was good. Whatever. All right. I'm angry. I'm ending this. Do you have anything to say to the fans who listen to you just babble bullshit the last 5 minutes and ruin the entire thing? Before we go.
No, I appreciate everybody listens and shares and likes and tells their grandpappy about it and then threatens their kids with beatings if they don't listen. It's gonna get it might be slow right now as far as the NFL news, but as the season goes and as time goes, bigger and better things are happening for this podcast. I promise you that.
Yes, thank you ever for listening. I'm sorry about the ending. I know it was very anticlimactic.
Happy ending for me, baby.
It was one of the worst endings. Wow, you saw it. Just oh my God. Thank you guys for listening. Anyways, I'm sorry you guys did have to hear that. Please like, subscribe, follow, share. Don't tell them about the ending of this one. Tell them everything else is good. Just leave out what just happened, and they'll like it as well. So with that said, we will be back again next week with our normal programming of going over the following teams that are left. I think we have the South
is next week, and then 2 weeks from West.
Yeah, with South and West are the last ones left. Okay, we'll be back with either the NFL South or NFL West, and then the following week will be the other one. And then we'll figure out what we're going to do from there. Maybe sporadic, maybe every other week, something like that. We'll figure it out. Usually we figure it out on, I don't know, Monday evening of what we're doing. And it usually goes...
I do know what I'm doing the day after the West. The day after that, Thursday, I'm starting to prep that party for the Hall of Fame game. I'm going to start getting the food together and the decorations and all that, the guest list. You know, I'll be prepping for all that.
I'm busy. I'm fucking busy. Yeah, we'll figure all that out. But like I said, usually it's like Monday. Lopes goes, all right, what do you want to do? And don't say whatever you want. And then I'm always like,
yeah,
you know, and I know that I'm going to say whatever you want. And then we go from there.
Yeah.
So we'll figure it out. But thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you guys so much for following. Thank you guys so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for keeping us in your mouth and in your thoughts. We'll be back again next week with another episode of Up the Gut. We love you. Bye.